Hey, good morning. Chuck here with Apple Drains. Today let's take a look at how to cut a half round curb. Now if you live down here in the south, you're very familiar with a half round curb. It's pretty common, and far better is to bring that discharge from the French drain or your downspout all the way out to the curb, because the curb's where the water's supposed to go. A curb cut is very helpful in a level or flat yard. It will help you achieve more fall for your French drain or your downspout drain. So let me show you how simple this really is. I'll give you several examples, and I promise that you can do this.
So out here at the curb, we're going to go ahead and make a small V-cut. Notice that you can see the expansion in the curb right there where they've already cut the concrete so that if it freezes or whatever, it can not crack. We'll use that as one side of the V, and then we'll make just wide enough for that pipe and let that water come straight out to the street.
You're going to be making 3 cuts in the concrete. The first cut is the angle that will make the triangle that you're going to put in. The second cut will be right on the expansion. And then you need a third cut right in the center so that when you use your pry bar, it'll just pop right out of there. And the reason that we're cutting the curb here is because it's a half round curb. If you live here in the south, you're very used to this type of curb. We like to bring the water all the way out to the street so it can discharge into the curb and down into the storm drain where it belongs.
So now if you've made your cuts properly, you should be able to take your pry bar and just hit it a couple times inside these cracks and pop it right out of there. There's your first piece, and there's your second piece. Let me bring the camera over here. You can see what it looks like. You can see a perfectly cut V. That pipe will go right there to the end. We'll just clean it out, and that water will come right out here to the street.
You know, our first office there in Columbus, Ohio, during the winter, we did more work than you could possibly imagine. When those lines are frozen, you've got to fix those lines. Sump pumps coming out of basements, and that's where these curb holes and curb cuts come in so handy. We found that pop-ups froze solid up north, and that's why we needed to cut curbs and bore curb holes. The secret is to use a concrete saw and cut a small V into the curb. Basically, you're going to make 3 cuts. If you have an expansion joint close by, be sure to use that because it's very helpful. Next, just take your pry bar and you'll be able to pop these pieces right out. Do not use a sledgehammer and crack up this curb. The pry bar works so good and only takes a few seconds. And finally, you're going to go ahead and cut your pipe to length and set it right into that V. Take a look.
Hey, this is Chuck with Apple Drains, reminding you that if you believe you can do something, I guarantee you can do it. Have a great day.